Hello, Jaguar students. It's your friendly neighborhood math teacher, Mr. Allred, and I want to welcome you to Unit 8. Unit 8 is all about two-dimensional figures. We're going to do a lot of fun things in Unit 8. My students usually find it to be a lot of fun because they like geometry and they like to look at shapes, and we'll do a lot of that here in this unit, in particular in this mini lesson. We're going to talk about area and perimeter today. And hopefully this should feel a little bit like a sixth grade review. At least you should have heard these words before. We might talk about some formulas that might be new, but you should definitely have heard the words area and perimeter before. Our learning goal is we'll be able to explain how to find the area and perimeter of 2D shapes by the end of our class period today. After you watch this video and you come to my station and you do some extra practice, you should feel pretty comfortable finding the area and perimeter of different two-dimensional shapes. Okay, we'll be able to find the area of a shape just like this one, even though it looks kind of funky. We'll be able to do one just like this one by the end of the class period today. So please follow along with me in these notes. Okay, just a refresher. This should be a refresher from sixth grade. I want you to turn to your partner and pause the video. I want you to talk about perimeter and area and see if you can remember what they are. Please pause your video and resume it when you're ready. I hope you had a good conversation. Perimeter is the distance around a two-dimensional shape. So the distance that actually goes around the two-dimensional shape has nothing to do with the inside of that shape, just the distance around it, the lines that make it up, the distance around a two-dimensional shape. The area of a 2D shape is, in fact, the space that a 2D shape takes up. So if I were to actually put a piece of paper on a table, how much of that table will that paper take up? That would represent the area of that piece of paper. Okay, you might have room to sketch this, maybe you don't. But a lovely way to think about perimeter and area is thinking about a backyard or a garden, or anytime you put a fence down on some grass. The perimeter would be more like the fence because it's the distance around that garden or that backyard. The perimeter would be more like the fence. The area would be the amount of grass that actually takes up the yard itself. How much space is inside that fence? That would represent the area of that. I guess you could call it a rectangle or a backyard or a garden if you wanted to. Okay, that should feel like a sixth grade review. Hopefully, I hope it does. If it doesn't, then I guess we have a little bit more work to do than we hoped to in this unit. But that's what we did in sixth grade, area and perimeter. We're going to talk about some different formulas here in a second. If you want to find the perimeter of this trapezoid right here, okay, the first thing you need to know is that these lines that are these little tick marks that are on the sides like that means that those are congruent. So congruent lines, there's little tick marks right there. Okay, that means that if this line is 8 centimeters, and so is this line right here. This is also 8 centimeters, that guy. Okay, that's an important thing to know when we're looking at these shapes. You will see some of those lines for congruence there. If you want to find the perimeter, you're just going to add up all the sides. You're going to do 6 plus 8 plus 8 plus 10. That's 32 centimeters. Okay, that's just an example of how to find perimeter of a shape. That should be pretty simple for us, honestly. We're going to add up all the sides of that shape. Okay, we're going to talk about some formulas here. We're going to get some of them written down. I'm going to do 2 examples here in my video. That's all I'm going to do. Because you will be able to do some more practice problems when you come to me. To find perimeter of any 2D shape, you can just add up all the sides. Okay. Find the perimeter of any 2D shape, you can add up all the sides. If you want to find the area of a triangle, you're going to take 1/2 and multiply it by the base times the height. So 1/2 base times height will find you the area of any triangle. And I hopefully can show you why that is in just a second. Okay, find the area of any triangle, you do 1/2 base times height. If you want to find the area of a rectangle or a square, then you're going to want to do base times, let me fix this real quick. It's freaking me out. And you're going to do area equals base times height. Okay, you can multiply the base times the height. You can also multiply the length times the width. Those are really the same thing, but I put both of them in there for you. Because you will hear different people say different things. So you can do base times height or length times width to find the area of a rectangle or a square. Trapezoids are awesome. They have an awesome formula. And to find the area of any trapezoid, you're going to take the 2 bases and add them together and divide that by 2 and then multiply by the height. So we're going to take the two bases and add them together, divide that by 2, and then multiply that by the height to find the area of any trapezoid. Okay, I'm going to do one triangle with you. Okay, here's some steps I want you to follow, just at least for these first couple of problems, these first couple of days of this unit. I always want you to write the formula down for that particular shape. Then I want you to substitute the numbers for the variables and answer it. Okay, this is a triangle, so its formula is 1/2 base times height. Okay, if we're going to substitute that, the base of this triangle is 6 inches long. That's the base of this triangle. And the height of this triangle is 4 inches tall. That would be the height, as it's the distance from the top to the bottom. So I'm going to take 1/2 and multiply by 6, and then multiply by 4 to find the area of that triangle. Okay, 1/2 of 6 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12 inches squared. Please do keep in mind that I put inches squared. I put a little exponent next to my inches sign because these are square inches. Anytime we deal with area, we are dealing with inches squared. I'm going to write that down as a note. Area is always units squared. I'm going to write that down there for you. Okay, I would think that's pretty important, probably for us to recognize when we're trying to find the area of a shape. It's always going to be inches or units or centimeters or miles squared. Okay, if you want to find the area of a trapezoid, I'm going to do one of these for you real quick. Okay, again, our formula for that is the bases added together divided by 2 times the height. The two bases of this trapezoid are 20 inches and 14 inches. You see this trapezoid has 2 different lengths of bases right here. It has this guy and this guy. There's 2 bases. So I'm going to take 14 and add it to 20. I'm going to divide that by 2. The height of that trapezoid is 7. So I'm going to multiply that by 7. You will have a calculator when you do this for this whole unit. Okay. So we should be able to do 14 plus 20 and get about 34. 34 divided by 2 is 17. And 17 times 7 is 119 inches squared. That's how you find the area of any trapezoid. Okay. Add the bases together and divide by 2, and then multiply by the height. Okay. Those are just a couple examples of how to do these. Okay. When you actually look at a trapezoid and you sit there and look at it for a second, okay, if you have an original trapezoid, shoot a pickle. Maybe it looks like this. Okay, if you took that trapezoid and if you can look at this, you can actually see this just a little bit. If you take this guy right here and maybe this guy right here, and you actually cut those pieces off, that's what this picture right here demonstrates. It took this piece and it threw it up here instead, and it took this piece and all it did was it threw it up here. Okay, you really do have what looks more and more like a rectangle, okay, when you take those pieces off and throw them up to the side. That's why you can use this formula 1/2 base 1 plus base 2, because we're trying to find the average base length. So we're really trying to find the average base length, much like we took the average push-ups and sit-ups and squats yesterday when we did our early release activity. Okay, we're trying to find the average base length there because we're trying to really turn that trapezoid into a rectangle to work with it a little bit better. That's where the formula comes from. We'll talk more about that when you come to my station. Okay, with triangles, I think it's pretty easy to see that when you take 2 right triangles and put them together, okay, take 2 right triangles. I'm going to take one and clone it, make it look just like that one. And then I'm going to kind of turn it counterclockwise until it's upside down. If I take those 2 right triangles and put them right next to each other, I see a square. I don't know about you, but I see a square. And we said that our formula for the area of a triangle was 1/2 base times height. So I can take 1/2 of whatever this base times height would be. If I said these were both 3, then I can do 3 times 3 and get 9, right? But that would be if it was a whole square, and I only have half that square because I have a triangle. That's why I divide that by 2. Okay, I'm going to stop talking now because it's been about 10 minutes. I've done 2 examples for you. I hope that you stay classy, and I hope that you remember that of all my students I've ever taught, that you are one of them. Please work as hard as you can on the rest of them and wait till you come to see me for my station. Thank you very much. Have a great day.